38, it's 12:18. So I had most of the numbers right. That's 20 minutes off. That's not bad, considering the sun's not even out. And I've been focusing on other things all day. That shows you the instinct of the human mind. My instincts are sound. I hope you can hear. Pass me not another non-alcoholic beer. My mom had 2 cups of decaf to start the day, and she's like, I don't feel right. It's like, why don't you have a regular cup of coffee? Okay. Anyway. Okay. I've got to piss now. I've got to piss. I've got to urinate. I'm going to sing about my urine streams. My urine streams. Have you heard? My urine streams. They're coming to a piece of ground near you. Not quite like water, but almost true. La 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 la. Okay. Oh, huh. Where can I piss? I don't know. I've got to piss. We already know that. Tell us something we don't know. I don't have to shit. That's very good. Whew. I haven't got wood. Imagine if you got an erection when you had to go piss. I'm like, shit. You ever had wood when you went to the bathroom? It's like, fuck, this is the totally wrong direction. Fuck, I'm just going to piss on the ceiling. As you get older, it's easier to kind of force it down. It's like, fuck. I still at 50, though, I can get a real hard boner at 3 in the morning. It's like, shit. They should make something for that. Yeah. Nobody ever talks about stuff like that. Like, you ever get a boner when you have to go piss? It's like, yeah, man, I drink it. Gatorade, man. It's better the second time. Imagine if beer came out as beer. You know? It's like, you know, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just having another beer. Nice. Oh, lovely. I just can't find what I did with my belt. That was stupid. I threw it into some ferns. It's like, how the fuck are you gonna find that? Wait, don't do that again. Okay. There's no thing for me. No messing for something. Here's your best. One. I can't remember this. Other experience. Well, I just don't want to talk about it. And I shouldn't be. I never should be. And 3, it scares people. You know, you can have this. I can have this. Thing like that, but something actually it's quite easy. Because it's dangerous. Okay. Oh, I'm at my mother's altar. My mother's temple. Looking good. you see how strange that is? I've never seen it in my life. This is on the website. You might be tonight. Some of our drivers want you to physically strike the bus, otherwise they're determined to leave you standing there. Right? An example of a psychosis shared by a number of people in, say, the local BC Transit is that I was told by a number of their drivers that, and I was shown very specifically several times in a short span of time, that in broad daylight, if I was standing at a totally empty bus stop in a very rural environment, where only one bus that comes there goes anywhere, that I'd taken hundreds and hundreds of times over the last 10 to 15 years, that if the bus was empty in broad daylight, manned by a driver, the sign saying that's in service, and I was there by myself for 10 or 15 minutes in the cold one December afternoon, that despite all of the other signals that you could give with your hands and eye contact and standing at the bus door, that the doors may not open, and unless you make physical contact with some part on the bus preferred by the driver, you will be denied service with prejudice. And at that point, if the bus does stop and open its doors, the driver has the right to verbally abuse you. Can you imagine that? How violent that is? And that by the time that happens, if you're a bus driver, you'll know this, that that company has suffered some egregious disease related to the alcoholism and the behavioral spectrums that alcoholism reduces people to, but at the same time expanding their capacity to lower inhibitions enough to mete out unprovoked violence onto innocent people in the course of delivering essential services and wearing a uniform to the effect of one that has secured a lot of trust and appreciation for millions of people over 150 years. That of the person who drives a carriage willing for a fee and an offer and consideration to take you somewhere in a courteous, safe fashion. I'll say that again. More than one of their bus drivers indicated to me that for reasons I could not control, I would be denied service for doing everything but making physical contact to a vehicle whose doors have not even opened in the way that they always do in an environment with no one around but the driver and me. And being told on one occasion that because I didn't do this, that they didn't know I was waiting for them, and their bus is empty, and no one else is around, and there's windows all around the bus, and I'm standing there on a cold day at the door. That's pretty extraordinary, in that these drivers wanted to teach me something. Didn't they? They wanted to teach me something. You would say, what's happening here? Well, they're teaching me a lesson. That they can deny me service if I don't make physical contact with the bus, which is a potentially lethal kind of behavior to encourage anyone to do. No one out there who currently drives a bus or a train or a taxi wants people to make physical contact with their vehicle, especially rapid transit and buses, when the driver may not even know you're standing there, because they're also telling me that failing this physical contact, I should assume that they don't even know I'm standing there at all, or for them, and that we have any reason to do any business at all while standing at the door of an empty bus with no one else around. Okay? It's quite an extraordinary message. You tend not to forget that message. I don't think that message is meant for me to forget, right? But what is the message? Is the message that I should strike bus doors again? No bus driver would say that it is. In fact, they denied this to me when I asked them. I asked professionals in the industry, and they said, nobody would ever encourage you to do that. So what were they telling me? That they could deny me service for any reason? And they wouldn't even tell me what it was? What did I do wrong? I asked them. Right? And so what they have is a bunch of baboons on their hands. Sub-animals. Sub-animals. And that it is not and no longer is safe for me to take the bus in the Oceanside area. I have effectively been denied public transit services for the last 2 years with no recourse, no redress. I'm pretty sure I've got a few people fired because I've had made a lot of sounds about it, as you might imagine. But it sets a very, and I set my boundaries with them. I told them, I'm never going to take your bus again. Can you imagine hearing that as a transit operator? As a 50-year-old man, I would never feel safe ever taking your buses ever again. I'm just not going to. You understand? And a lot of people in this community don't, as a rule. That's how specious these people are. Utterly specious. And I saw so many occasions of unprovoked violence to men, women, and children while taking these buses. They're disgusting human beings. They're alcoholics. But I'm dealing with them. And I've dealt with them. It's an interesting kind of thing to consider. Is I'm still trying to figure out what I was being told. And they even called the police on me to try to help me understand what was being told. And the police tried to suggest to female that everything was fine. And that it all made sense to her. Especially if they were really busy and there were so many people around, because she's a schizophrenic. And without skipping a beat, she just assumed that it was really busy. I talked to another woman who assumed that, based on another situation, that it must be dark out to explain the unexplainable. And you wonder how often these people, in all innocence, or in all honesty, have been explaining all kinds of creepy stuff their whole lives. And they're so good at it, they became police officers and bus drivers. Because getting good at using the conscious mind to explain sub-animal things done as though consciously by other human beings is going to turn you into a sub-animal. Okay? These aren't humans. These are psychopaths. These are alcoholics. These are people who are communicating, it's just starting to snow, violent things to other human beings. In the message, my mom actually figured it out pretty quick. She says, I don't think they like you. That's right. They're communicating is, we don't like you. And they're communicating that they have a problem with me. And they don't want to use their words to say what it is. So, should I take that? Do you think any should happen? No? You don't want to stay. What would you prefer that I talk to you? So I'm going to assume that you want me to come back and talk to you. Okay? Is there anything that I should just say no? That sexual harassment. So I'm going to sue you for about $50 million in the next 10 years. Thank you. It was an incredible discovery, which I drew out of these people while taking the bus over many years. Right? Right? And so they let me know that they're a violent people, essentially. They have war in their hearts among them. There is war in their hearts. They do violence. And someone that can do violence to an unsuspecting, innocent person, and if they had an issue, it'd be hard to think that they've opted not to use words, or to say, hey, I have a problem with you. They've done violence and say, it's like something you would do online. You know, it's something they're doing to someone in real time because they can lower their inhibitions enough to do that. What else are they capable of, and to whom? Right? And they're telling you basically, jump under the bus. You have to risk a lethal contact with our machinery because based on various circumstances, nothing else that anyone could do to get a bus driver sitting by themselves with an empty bus for 15 minutes with only you standing at the door to open it and give you a ride without any prejudice for the offered and considered price of some number of dollars, right? And during which exchange, you really don't even have to have any verbal contact at all, usually. You just get on the bus. And in every instant I've dealt with the criminal mentality of this company, they initiate various things with me, and they don't want to show empathy. And they're very angry about having to empathize with this. And what I want to do is I want to thwart. And I want to hasten their own ability to thwart their capacity to continue operating the way they are. And as a result, I got very sick because once they fired someone, an enormous amount of rage was unleashed. Okay? Because despite a number of people probably involved in this negative mentality, one or more people probably ended up getting suspended or losing their jobs. And any change in their employment would be enough to generate enough anger, particularly from the inciting female. Females in particular can make you sick. So if I'm getting sick, there was 2 or more females that didn't like me. So that tells you what you're up against. When you're up against the system, you're up against female energy because that can make you sick, right? A man can do anything, but if he's got a woman making him sick, it'll kill him. A man can survive anything, but he can't survive an evil woman. And so, men, when you choose, if you have a choice, and the women around you, right, accepting your mother and so forth, who may as well be very dangerous for you, unless you're careful, you must choose carefully, very carefully, the females in your life. There's no more important decision to a man's life than the woman he chooses to be around. And that's why I don't choose to be around any of you. I don't choose to be around the women or the men. Because if you choose to be around a man, I like single men, not gay men, but just single men, because they don't have too many women around them. Because when men have women around them, right, bad things happen. Women make a lot of bad things happen. Or at least the opposite gender does. I would like to think that if I have to knock anyway. Little things, because someone took a lot of trouble all to tell me under various conditions that making physical contact with the boss is the only way to see it. Until if you don't have it, I suppose you can feel incredible with trust. It's snowing. So what did I say it was? 12, 18, right? So yeah, I have a lot of time. I could go down Martindale next to the estuary. I might do that. Could be fun. It's a nice walk.
But if you can help a woman heal, a woman can help you a good deal. But I think if I meet a woman, I'm going to have to heal her first. And I don't know how to do that. I don't think it's my right. I don't think it's something I should mess around with. But I think that at a fantastical level, if I met a woman, I would have to heal her first. I don't think anyone is quite at the level that I am. If not healthy in such a way, hungry for health. Like people get into health, they get into religion. Health and religion go hand in hand. You're what you believe, what you think you need to do every day, what you eat, food control, like beans and rice. It's not the only protein I have, but it keeps me in good stead. With some shiitake mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms, I ate daily for a couple of years. Fixed up constitutional issues, weakness in the system. Vagus nerve. If you have vagus nerve issues, start eating shiitake mushrooms every fucking day. Every day. A modest amount at least.